Well, hi everyone. My name is Robin Blank Mascari, and I have a special guest here today, Dr. Nicholas Trivoli, and we're going to talk about the selection of patches from LifeWave to help you become better acquainted with the patches. Although we have a major focus on keeping it as simple as possible and starting people off really basically, and then you can move into more of the patches. So I just want to do a brief introduction of Dr. Nicholas. He's been a chiropractor in practice over 21 years. He's been with LifeWave over 10 years, and he has patched thousands and thousands of people over these 10 years and has heard amazing stories of, and we do like to be a bit conservative. Sometimes people do have an instant experience, but that's not always the case. So we do recommend people try the patches for a month and then maybe make some adjustments. So let's get started. Welcome, Dr. Nicholas.
Hey, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Oh, great to have you. You're such an amazing resource for all of us. So let's start with the star of the show.
Please. There's the star.
There's the star. It's got
X39,
a star. Right? Go for it. So what is it, and what is the intention of the patch? And maybe you can share what people are experiencing and how long to wear it, and what else will maximize people's effectiveness of using all the patches.
All right, so first, this is what the X39 patch looks like. All of the patches actually look the exact same. So basically it's a non-transdermal patch. It's got an adhesive that's non-allergenic. I'm actually turning the patch on by holding this in my hand. So if I set it down now, it's out of my field of energy, 3 to 6 inches. That means it's turned off. I'm turning it back on by holding it. So there's no chemical transfer, there's no medications in it. It's completely natural, over the counter. So everything inside of it is sealed. And so the inventor figured out a way to use the body heat as the power source to activate the material. So what's so powerful about this patch is it elevates a peptide in the body called GHK copper. This peptide is already naturally floating around in our bodies. It's just as we age, less and less, like everything. And this polypeptide indirectly activates our stem cells that are naturally hanging out in our body. The stem cells are just waiting to be turned on to, say, become a eye cell, a knee cell, a liver, whatever the body needs when it has an injury. So this patch will elevate that peptide at a very high level to make your body act like it's younger. Meaning, I'm 49 years old. When I hold this thing, as an example, my body starts to act like I'm in my teens or even younger. So that elevation goes higher, and then it indirectly makes my stem cells younger, like that age, and it will constantly make new stem cells because it's taking the skin cells from my body to make new stem cells. So the cool part about this is it will constantly start to regenerate my body. So there's different phases of LifeWave, but this is the third phase. The third phase is regeneration. So that we're doing a rebuilding phase. So we were first into just like a pain management, energy, sleep phase. Then we went into the anti-aging movement phase, which is kind of where I came in. And then now this is the third phase of LifeWave, which is regeneration. And so the hot topic in medicine right now is stem cell therapy. So the marketing has been done. We just now have the most cutting edge product to plug into a society where a lot of people are looking at it, trying it. It's expensive, it's out of pocket, it's a very, very costly, can be painful, and doesn't always work. So here's a wearable technology that can help your body activate your own stem cells and make them regenerate your own body all over, not just your knee, not just your shoulder, not just your eye, your whole body. So that's kind of the X39 in a nutshell.
Wow. And who is this patch for?
Well, this patch is for anybody who has any kind of health issues or just want to stay young and healthy, in my opinion. So, I mean, I personally don't have any real personal issues, but when I wore it, I noticed I was actually feeling more energy. I was sleeping extremely deeper. When I would work out, I would still be sore from like a leg workout, and 2 or 3 days later, and I don't have that at all. It's like your body's starting to heal and recover in real time. And I've never experienced anything like this in the 10 years of being in LifeWave. So it's a very unique technology, different than the others, but you get it's supposed to help with your skin, with get rid of scars, just do many age reversing things. I mean, that's what it's doing. So it's a pretty neat patch that I think anybody would really benefit from. But I think I see more people that are trending to it, that are looking for knee replacements, hip replacements, things like that. So we're looking at more of the baby boomers right now. But I've had some younger people that are in their teens that like it just for the performance aspect of it, the recovery aspect. So that's it's kind of across the board.
Wow. So this is our most comprehensive patch, and it's
Yeah.
really what I hear from you. It's the best place for everyone to start because it does so many things, and
Right.
everyone's body's different, and we're at different ages. So I know we have a whole variety of patches, but there's a few key patches that are the go-to patches for to make it as simple as possible. So what would be the next patch that you would recommend for someone if they're ready to take it the next level?
Well, if we're going to focus on pain, then we're going to talk about the Ice Wave. And this is probably the most demonstratable patch. Now, this is obviously a booklet. It comes with it. It gives very specific instructions on how to use it with placements. This is a shoulder as an example. We're using X39, not specifically for pain, but it is helping people with pain, actually very dramatically. And the reason why is the stem cells are turned on by an inflammatory issue. So usually pain is associated with inflammation, and they're attracted to inflammation, so they're going to go and start repairing and healing. And that's part of why that patch is so dramatic for pain. But these are specific for pain. So the Ice Wave is a two-patch system. There's a white patch and a tan patch. And it gives you very specific points and options to experiment with, whether it be whole body pain relief or a very specific area of pain or for headaches. It just goes through the book. So now you can combine these with the X39 and it will assist you in getting more results. So it's kind of the good, better, best kind of approach. And what these do is reduce temperature variations of 4 degrees within 5 minutes. So they've done some thermography pictures where it will show like someone's spine, for instance, or a back, and where you see these really red areas, orange, yellow, that's a hot low back inflammatory issue. And within 5 minutes, it'll show these things turning the temperatures into greens, yellow, even blue, which is where there's extreme circulation happening, which then allows more healing to take place. So these do help heal, but also extreme symptom pain relief. So that's where these things will complement the X39 if we're going to go down and talk about pain for the good, better, best approach.
Great. So you said it helps heal. It's not just a Band-Aid, even though it looks like one. It does do some long-term healing and lowering the temperature makes a difference. So if someone has an acute injury or, an accident, both the X39 and the Ice Wave would be a great thing to apply as quickly as possible. Okay. So as long as we're on the pain topic, let's go into the next two that go together really well, that can take it even the next level.
So we're talking about the YH patch. This is the anti-aging system. There's two patches very specific for pain, for the majority of pains. We're talking about the Eon patch, the glutathione, and the Eon. So when we used, before X39 came out, Eon addresses all the inflammatory markers within the body, plus it also puts the nervous system in a parasympathetic response. So it takes you out of the fight or flight tension stage to a relaxation stage, which then allows for more healing to occur. So when you add that into the mix, you can kind of see the big picture of the body's more of in a state to heal even faster. So that was a really nice patch before X39, but now complements it as well. So the glutathione is a major detoxifier. So it does many things, but it also helps with inflammation as well. And this is kind of why I really got involved with LifeWave, because I was really interested in glutathione for all the benefits, but it helps to neutralize free radicals. So this is why it's part of the YH anti-aging patch, to detox the body, boost the immune system, help with free radical damage that's occurring constantly. We're under assault of chemicals, heavy metals, pesticides. So this helps to pull those things out of the body naturally and constantly. So we're always under this assault. So this can also affect our body under pain reduction. So that's the three that are very specific for pain. So carnosine, the little sister patch that doesn't get a lot of attention, can really help if it's a muscle tear. So say, for instance, you have a tear in the shoulder or a tear in the hamstring. That patch is very specific for a muscle repairing patch. It's clinically proven to help repair muscle. Your heart's a muscle, and also for the brain. That's just some of the main things it does for the anti-aging repairing type patch. So those are the main ones we've always focused on for pain. So that's
Great.
the pain system. Yeah.
Well, wonderful. I neglected to ask you how long. I want to go back to X39 for just a minute.
Oh, yeah.
And how long do you wear the patches, X39 and the others?
Okay, good question. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, so X39 is used for two placements in the booklet, on the back of the neck at the C7 vertebrae or below the belly button. Those are the suggested regular placements. So you can wear that patch literally anywhere because they turn on the stem cells. They're active. They go everywhere in the body, so it's systemically working. If you have a symptom and it's your knee and your knee hurts, you can apply this directly on the knee. Now, the suggested time is only 12 hours for this patch. The others are a little bit longer. So you can wear this thing for 12 hours, and then you want to take it off for 12 hours. And the purpose is that when you're having the reflecting light signaling into the body, you don't want the body to acclimate to that light frequency. Otherwise, the results will not be the same. So David says, take it off for 12 hours, and then get a new one on for the next 12 hours once you go through that time frame on-off period. So you can do it either during the day or at night. Some people have a preference. So it's like, personally, I just like it during the day, and I take it off at night, and then I'll apply the other ones that I use during the night. So the other ones now can be worn longer. So I usually tell patients to wear for 24 hours. So I'm kind of good with that. I've used these for 10 years, and I may take one day off a week where I'm only using this thing 6 days a week, okay, if I need to, or whatever my situation may be, or if I'm dealing with a patient with a pain issue. So that's how the time is on those typically. Right. So placement on these, they give you very specific instruction placements. Where to put them. You can see in here they give very specific detailed directions. This is obviously, it's in English, so they do put it in different languages as well. And those are the general placements. So that's kind of where I'll just stay with that for me.
Okay. And I know that, earlier on you were holding a patch and you said it's activated and then it's not. Could you talk a little bit about how people store their patches and care for them so that they are most effective, and what else contributes to making these patches really work at their premium best?
Yes, so great question. So body heat turns them on. I'm turning all of these patches on right now, even in the package, so you don't want to slide it in your pocket and go about your business because they're all turned on by the body heat. So I'm going to put those down. So they can be transferred through the airport. A lot of people ask me this question. It's completely safe to travel with them. Just don't keep them on your body or near your body. 3 inches turns them on technically. So, I mean, they're pretty safe in a woman's purse or a bag. But again, traveling wise safe. You just don't want to leave these in temperature over 120 degrees. Heat really kind of throws them off, starts to make them work a little bit. So I live in the desert. I've been here 22 years. It's 115 out in the middle of summer. I still get these in the mail. So what I do is I immediately get them out of the mailbox, take them inside. Sometimes I even throw them in the refrigerator, just let them cool off, or just get them shipped all up front in the beginning of summer and don't have them shipped through the summer. And I've done that too with the maintenance auto ship package. So that way I'm not even concerned about that. But I've had people say they've gotten them in the heat and they said they feel it's still working. So, that's kind of the thing. It's a personal thing, but I was just told that anything over 120 degrees. So don't leave them in the sun. Don't leave them out in the light. They are sort of light sensitive, but as long as they're sealed in this package right now, they're pretty much safe and okay. So that would be it. And don't let your dog or cat lay on these. It seems to work amazing on animals. So just an FYI, you will find your animals attracted to hanging out on these things because they're feeling the energy of it. I kid you not. And they work great on animals as well. And they've got a whole website on how to use them on horses, just as an FYI, if anybody's out there that are animal lovers and want to play around with these on animals. So
fabulous. And something that I just learned about was this little, it's a sandwich pouch, and you can get it on Amazon, and it is insulated. And so it's where I keep my patches in my purse. And I got it on Amazon. The company is called AVA and Kings. And it's just a nice way to keep the patches and transport them. So I always like to have IceWave patches with me at all times, and some X39s. Well, I think we should go to where it all began. What do you think?
let's do it.
The very first patch. What is it? What was it intended for? And how is it being used? And I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, so that's a great question. Everybody asks, when did LifeWave start? They actually started back in September of 2004. That's when they physically came online for the public. But before that, David was actually an inventor developing survival equipment for the military, specifically for the Navy SEALs. So what happened was they were actually doing a mini sub program. So the SEALs will go out on a single man sub and go out on a 30-60-hour mission, and they were getting low energy, obviously. They were getting tired, fatigued, so they were doing, caffeine chewing gum, different types of energy drinks and things like that. Well, once you go up that high, you're going to come down, and so then it even got worse for them. So he said, I can develop something that can give them energy. So it took him about 2 years. The IceWave and Energy almost look identical. These are the same. The white patch is the same. The tan one is a little bit less strength, and has a very specific mechanism to turn on a fat-burning 500 calorie per day, sitting doing nothing, 4% increase in stamina energy, not like an energy. It's just, you just have more strength stamina when you're sitting doing nothing. When you move, you get a bigger response, up to 400%. This is why the athletes use these when they're performing, say, running, lifting, because you're using the large muscles. So you have a little engine in all of your cells. Me sitting here right now, I'm not using them. If I got up and started running, all the little engines are turned on. Well, they need fuel. So the signaling starts, says burn more fat, give me more energy, and it's a clean energy. So there's no high and then crash. You're just like up, and you stabilize in this kind of a cool space. So this was the first patch that was developed that came out in 2004 in September that put LifeWave on the map. So this is all documented. There's a history video that goes through this and shows pictures, shows the women's swim team in Stanford that were using them, how they went into the Olympics and got started, and it was a big, huge hit.
And now there's athletes all over the world. You can go to the news section on the back office and see there's Olympians, there's NFL, there's NBA, there's athletes from every different sport all over the world. So if you know someone who's athletic and wants to increase their strength and stamina, reduce their recovery time, this is great. And for people that, some people think an energy patch is for, more energy, but it's, you've shared a little bit about it's for balancing energy, correct?
Yeah, correct. So it's really interesting how they say energy. So your body needs energy to move, to function, my heart right now, my brain to function, even to sleep. It's real interesting, to digest food. So again, as we age, our bodies start to do this, all right? And this is where you can have ADD or hyperactive aging disorder. So the brain's going faster, or you're depressed, or lower energy. So these things, you put them on, and we've seen this happen on people. So they really help balance systems, which means like cardiovascular, digestion, liver, hormones, all these things. So we've seen people wear those patches and start to feel a balancing effect of the whole body. I've seen people put them on and lower the blood pressure. I've seen people put them on and have really great clarity and energy. It's a real interesting kind of an energy that, you just sort of innately start to lose as we age. So this kind of amps it back up to a healthy balance. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
And so all the rest of the patches, well, not all of them, we're talking most of them. We're going to identify a few in a few minutes that are only at night, but most of them are 24 hours, correct?
Yeah, totally safe to use 24. I've had some people say I only wear the energy patches during the day. Some wear them 24 hours. Some will wear them one day on, one day off. So you're going to kind of get into a rhythm and feel these out. So there's a testing period. So when I have people try them, I'm always saying, let's do it for a month to give it a fair try, because you may have a different experience than I would, and I can say how I would wear them. And you say, I tried it that way and I didn't feel anything, but then you put them on a different placement, wore them at a different time, and said, oh my gosh, it changed my life. So there's that time of experimenting, mixing them up with maybe different ones even, to really get even more benefits. So that's the learning curve you want to kind of be aware of. And if you're going to recommend this to people, I always say that, but just to
Okay.
safe.
And there's all kinds of videos on YouTube on the LifeWave channel where you can learn additional information and different protocols. Just recently, Dr. Nicholas, you talked about we have 3 different patches that actually aid in people's sleep.
That's
So
correct.
we talked about pain. Let's move into the sleep mode. You talked
Let's
about
do it.
one of them. The X39 is people are having tremendous results with deep restorative sleep. So what else would people, if they really want to enhance the quality of their sleep, where else would they go? What other?
Okay, so the initial patch that came out is called Silent Night. So this patch was developed to help increase the natural brainwave activity to help you get into a more restful sleep. Okay, so this is the first patch. There's clinical studies that document it. This patch actually was done studies by Dr. Norm Shealy, and from his studies, the patch was actually put into hospitals in the EU to treat insomnia for sleep disorders. Now, we can't say that here in the US, and we're not diagnosing and treating, but it just helps the brainwaves get into more restful sleep. So this patch works. It really helps you get into deep sleep. I've had some people say I tried it and they didn't get into deep sleep, and I said, well, there could be other factors. So if you're in pain, or if you have lights on, or if you're distracted with the computers or cell phones, those things can completely throw your body's circadian rhythms out of balance. And this thing is still working, but that's not the main cause of your problem. So we kind of like to educate people on, ask some questions to kind of get them to find out what the real cause could be. So, but to focus on sleep, that's the sleep patch first. Second patch came out, it's called Alavita. It's a skincare patch. There's 2 suggested placements on the back of the neck, below the belly button. I actually like wearing it right here, right over the third eye. It affects the pineal gland very dramatically, and that's the brain's brain. They've done some studies, and it will show all the centers of the brain very lit up, very active. And I don't mean it in a chattery brain, like energetic way. It's just, it shows they're working better. So the functioning of that pineal gland makes the other brain centers function at higher levels while you're sleeping, which then makes your skin look better. So it's the actual first patch that came out for regeneration was the Alavita patch, and that's basically a skincare patch, but it does it through the brain activity, through all the different hormonal channels and organ functions. But the part of the brain that affects sleep is very, very dramatically enhanced as well. So I personally like this patch the best for sleeping. I recommend it a lot because then you get more bang for your buck. You're getting the benefit of sleep, plus your healthier skin. So,
well, the healthier skin thing is really appealing to a lot of people. And there is a website called myalavita.com. And you can learn, there's a complimentary skincare program if you want to do that also, that goes with the patches. And people have wonderful experience with lucid dreaming and deep, all kinds of fun stories on dreams, which is very exciting. So thank you for the Alavita. And then, so we covered the 3 sleep patches. So now I think we should probably go to SB6. Or
SB6.
Okay.
SB6. So the green patch, it was developed to help with sugar cravings or a food craving. It wasn't necessarily a weight loss patch, but it helps people who need that assistance if you have a craving issue. So it affects the part of the brain called the hypothalamus, which will help that part of the brain to kind of balance. So it indirectly seemed to help women who have had some pre- and postmenopausal issues, say hot flashes or just some different food issues. Yeah, So it's really been a benefit for that, and that was not why it was developed, but it helped with the craving. So we actually started playing around with it with people who had other cravings. So, a craving's a craving's a craving, and it actually seemed to work. So people are having some addiction issues with whatever your choice may be, it seems to really help that part of the brain, help you have that edge that you need to help you with that support.
Beautiful.
The SB6 patch.
Beautiful. Thank you. I guess we're moving into Nirvana.
Okay, so Nirvana, it's a patch and a nutritional supplement. So David started to get a little bit into the nutritional world, and he wanted to kind of bridge a gap that everybody gets nutrition or they get different topical creams. So, but a patch technology, it's a wearable technology we talked about. And so he wanted to try to get into a little bit of nutrition that complemented the patch to enhance the benefit of the patch, but then make it where people would be interested in wanting to try it. So Nirvana came out, and it's basically made up of 3 different ingredients. The 2 main ingredients are a sea salt extract, a vanilla bean extract, and the other part I can't recall off the top of my head. And that is designed to create a euphoric experience, which means it makes you feel happy. It lifts you up. So it's a mood enhancement patch. So if you're depressed, it's clinically been proven for mild depression to elevate your body, mind into a healthier, happier state. And the patch actually amplifies what that nutrition supplement does. So it's a kind of a 2-part system that they work together synergistically, and that product is doing really well, especially in Europe. I guess they got some more issues over there, but that one is with the Nirvana patch nutrition.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. And you referenced earlier about a patch for horses. Want to talk about that?
Okay, so we talked about animals, and they started playing around with these on animals, again, just to do testing to see if it's not a placebo. And it actually went very viral into the horse world. So there's a whole website on patching horses, and it was more in a performance space, but it doesn't have to be, but that's the direction that the person went with it. So you'll see all these barrel racing horses. We're talking pro barrel racing horses, and there's videos and pictures. And so it's ACULife, LIFE.com. So AcuLife.com is the website. And they're the same patches that I'm holding in my hand for people. They just give you an instruction pamphlet on where to place them on a horse. And there's only 4 placements. So the white's on the right side and the tan's on the left. So that's all there is for a horse. So that applies with a dog or a cat. So if it's a neck injury, a shoulder issue, hind end issue, you can put one on each side, and that's all you do. So I have some people asking me, like, if they have a lot of fur and it won't stick. You have to get creative, just kind of figure out some different ways. I've had some people just take the back ends off and put it on the collar, and it works. Again, if it's 3 to 6 inches near you, it's activated and turned on. Same thing with an animal.
Great. Well, we've covered all the patches, right?
I think so.
Okay, good. So let's just finish up, Dr. Nicholas, and talk a little bit about how to maximize effectiveness with nutrition, minerals, and hydration, and how important that is.
Well, I'll stick with. I'm really, really comfortable just sticking with hydration. So hydration is key. Your body is made of water. You need water. I always give a visual for patients. I tell them, think of your body. If you look like a grape, you're hydrated. If you look like a raisin, you're dehydrated, and they visually get it. So the way these things work is they work through like cell-to-cell communication. It's a light stimulating the cell. The cell takes in that light and creates a chemical reaction within the cell. Well, the cells touch each other, and that's how this chemical communication system starts to take place. Well, if they're not touching each other, there's kind of a gap, so that can cause less of an effect in terms of like getting the maximum benefit. So water is key. Your body needs minerals to make things work. I just tell people, get on a good mineral supplement. I don't think we need to be on as much nutrition as everybody says we do, but I think a mineral supplement is key. But if you don't, they still work. I've seen people that are dehydrated and they work. I've seen people who don't take any minerals and they work. So those are not prerequisites to get on these, but they can enhance your benefits. So yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time, your wisdom, your experience. And bottom line, we want to start simply And because X39 is our most comprehensive patch, you can't go wrong starting people there. If people have pain, you can add the IceWave and then review all the other patches from there for whatever is specific for what you're trying to accomplish. So at this time, I think we are complete for our overview of the LifeWave patches, and we're going to continue this series with Dr. Nicholas to support each and every one of us being educated so we can support even more people, because we're at a very exciting time in our business of sharing LifeWave with the world, and we are in 120 countries already. So thank you so much, Dr. Nicholas. Really, really appreciate all of your time and wisdom.
Glad to be here and help, and can't wait to do more of these. So.
All right.
Thank you.
Me too.